Rachel, a disappointing result today, but how proud of you of the team for sticking in there and hanging on till the end?
Well, I'm proud of us for getting to the final. I think at the beginning of the season no one would have sort of placed us in the final against Arsenal this season. But we showed great character and we've played some brilliant football in the wins against Liverpool, the wins against Notts County, which I think is probably why it's really it's quite frustrating and quite upsetting today that we sort of didn't do ourselves justice. We didn't play to the standard that we did, in those previous two rounds. So once you get there, obviously you want to come here and win. So that's the disappointing thing. I think that obviously we've come away as runners-up. I'm proud of the team for getting here, but I just wish we could have gone on and on that final stage have performed as we had done in previous rounds.
And of course you're one of the more experienced players in a very, very young Everton squad. How vital is your role now, of course, to pick the younger girls up going into the second part of the season?
Well, it is, because it is like it is a two-part season, and we can't have any sort of negative knock-on effects for the rest of this season, because we should be really proud. There's us and Arsenal who've made it to the final of the FA Cup, which is the biggest competition in the country. So we need to be proud of that and take that as positive momentum into the second half of the season. But as far as picking the girls up, I know what it's like to lose an FA Cup final at a young age, and it was gutting. But I remembered that experience, further down the line and drew sort of strength from it and drew the positives from it. And I think that's hopefully what we can do individually and collectively when we review the match.
And of course 15,000 in here today, tremendous support and a great advert for women's football and the WSL.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and it was great to see so many sort of blue supporters here, even though it was 40 minutes for Arsenal fans and a good much longer trip for the Evertonians. So I'm really sort of proud to have sort of my family here and so many families and friends and supporters here from Everton. That always makes it special on a cup final day. Hopefully it was a good advert for women's football, and hopefully it will encourage more and more people to come and watch the game, like you said, the WSL for the second part of the season. Both ourselves and Liverpool play at Holton Stadium, and it'd be fantastic to sort of emulate the atmosphere and the support that we had today in the FA Cup final in our future WSL games.
And just finally, obviously almost a month-long break now and then back into WSL action. Would you say this cup run will give you confidence going into the second part?
I think we need to make sure that it does. I think it could quite easily, we could go away and sort of dwell on the negatives, just like any sort of game, but obviously this is on another level because of what's at stake. So we just need to ensure that that's managed. These are experiences and possibly emotions that in football some girls have never felt before. So they need to know that it's perfectly normal to be disappointed, and to really kind of draw on the positive things that they've done. The fact that they've played in FA Cup finals at young ages, and some of them their first ever FA Cup finals, and that's an amazing experience in itself. And I'm sure they will draw strength from that, because they've been big characters for us so far this season, as everyone who was on that pitch today.